Welcome to Mr. Foy's Easel. Well, we're really going back to fundamentals today. We're going back to review the ABCs. Well, not really, but I plan to show you how the letters of the alphabet can give the practiced eye of the cartoonist a notion of how to draw some kind of drawing or funny face or whatever. Starting right at the first, you take the A. Okay. First of all, I can imagine some guy at a New Year's party with a party hat on, like this, you see. Or I can imagine a guy with sleepy eyes, like this fellow here. And there's one more before we proceed to the letter B. Imagine you're Daniel Boone or somebody, and you're traveling and see the A, it becomes a wigwam. And I bet a lot of you could easily find a lot of other examples. And not all of the letters of the alphabet provide such easy starting points for the cartoonist. B is not among the easier ones. We can start out with, let's see, we could put a B down on its side, you see. So like you turn it over. And you can make a sort of a sinister looking guy out of it with a conniving sort of a grin. Or you could take the B, lowercase b, and turn it around like this, and you can have his buddy, sort of a happy-go-looking fellow, with a bill cap. Well, let's just wander through the alphabet a little further. C is such an easy one, so before I came to start this show, I got to thinking, well, what can I do besides the obvious nose or part of a fellow's hair, or maybe a eyebrow turned up like that, a C like that. These are fairly easy. I got to think, well, do we have anything besides characters or people? Well, actually you could do this. And although you don't see these on the tracks anymore, you know what I'm talking about now? An old-timey locomotive, with the big wheels and the tracks, and the engineer's spot back in this area. A lot of smoke coming out. And as I said just a moment ago, you could probably discover a lot more things that you could draw starting out with the letter C. Well, I'll just throw in one more. Somebody who's not only angry, but he's expressing his anger to somebody maybe on the street below. Maybe he's looking out his window, and you got the C, and of course you got another C there, and you could have a C with the guy down here that he's hollering at, and so on. Now the D, one of the easiest Ds, well, I'll show you. First, let's have a table, like it's a kitchen table or a dining table. And you turn the D over. Bowl of soup or something. See the spoon handle sticking out? And then maybe someone just walked in and saw that and knew it was something good to eat. And that's the reason. Notice this D turned down. That's the reason for the big smile on his face. Yum, he's saying or thinking. Now, E's are pretty easy to do. You can use the E to produce a couple of eyes. Might call them sleepy eyes, half closed. Not a very happy looking character here, but you can see the letter E there. She might even have an E like that, from which we make her new Sunday hat. Well, it's about time for a break now. We'll come back and continue through the alphabet.
Home security is now available through Conway Corp. It's an advanced solution backed by people you know and trust. Customize your system with motion detectors, sensors, light controls, and more, all managed from your wireless touchscreen or mobile phone. It's an easy way to protect the things that matter and the ones who matter most. It's safety for you, powered by Conway Corp.
Well, we're back, and what comes after E? Oh yeah, F. You know, one of the easiest things to do with an F, I can't put all the stars in there, of course, but you can do the flag. And don't go counting the flags, the stripes on me, but I'm just trying to show you how you can make an F without much trouble. Also, you can take an F and make another crazy looking hat with a kind of a dopey looking guy underneath. Well, G it's kind of a challenge. As far as I know, there aren't that many ways to use the letter G, but one really fun one, I think, is put a face and make the bottom part of the G come around and form the mouth. And I've also seen, I think we can, for a change, we can put an animal in here. Dumbo's cousin, an elephant. See the lowercase g, and then the uppercase G down here. H is pretty easy. I like to do the lowercase h, put a lady underneath, and she's got a hat that's kind of like the other lady over here with a kind of a tassel on top. Easier to do than that is simply to have an H like this, put this guy up there, with his hands on his hip. That's his belt, you see. And there's the rest of him. See where the H is now? One reason for this program about the letters and how you can make cartoons from them, as you get to doing more cartooning, you can see a lot of objects, not just letters of the alphabet, and in your imagination you can conceive of a way to take the beginning of that, or one corner of that object or a side of it, and create a cartoon. Well, obviously I is easy, especially if you just want to make an eye, a couple of eyes actually. But what could you do with the cursive eye that looks like this? Well, I'll show you. Enlarge that. Put a tongue there. And you've got the family dog with his tongue hanging out. I, J. Now, a lot of times when I'm working on a cartoon from the letter J, I put a J sort of backwards on that side, and I make some hair out of it like this. I might put a ribbon on top. Have a rather pleasant damsel or lady like that. Now K, I'll tell you about letters like K that don't have a lot of curvature in them. They present more of a challenge. But there are a couple of examples though that I can give you. If you put the K kind of like that is one, and then you turn the K up like that for another drawing. Here's what I like to do. I like to put legs and feet down here, and the hindquarters here. And come up with a rather sleepy frog like that. Now here I come back to hats. Hats are always, or very often, are very good to have. I seem to be providing more than a few hats. This time it's a feather. So that's the K. Notice the K down here, and then the K is sort of turned over. Now, what I said a while ago about the straight lines and all being more difficult, L is an exception to that. And for example, let's have a guy in a restaurant or coffee shop. Let's put two L's there like that. And it's a cold winter's day, and this time I'm having a little different kind of a headgear. He's just come in out of the cold winter air. And for coffee drinkers, well, this is a good break in that kind of weather. So, L, and well, I'm running out of the alphabet because I'm running out of time. So we may return to the ABCs in a later episode, but that's all for now. Remember, you can contact Mr. For's Easel at conwaycorp.com.